Alright, in this section here we're going to be talking about division of polynomials. And of course we get started with a nice simple example. And we're going to start with 35x squared minus 49x squared. Whoops, that's supposed to be a cube right there. Alright, so let me just start over here. This is a cube minus 49x squared plus 28, and this is going to be all over 7. Now, of course, we're starting with something simple here, but there's a way of doing this without having to use long division. 7 goes into 35, 7 goes into 49, and 7 goes into 28. So 7 goes into 35 5 times. So we just write x cubed, and I'm not exactly sure why I wrote an equal sign. How about a minus? 7 goes into 49 7 times, so that'd be x squared. And 7 goes into 28. That's going to be 4 times. Alright, so that's been simplified down to 5x cubed minus 7x squared plus 4. Okay, we should always start with something simple and work our way upward. Alright, in this particular one here, we're going to say 6x to the 4th minus 15x cubed plus 9x squared, and that's going to be all over 3x squared. Now what I'm going to do on this particular one, I could have done it in the last problem, but I'm going to break this up. Okay, just like this. Minus 15x cubed over 3x squared plus 9x squared over 3x squared. And it makes it nice because 3 goes into each one of these coefficients here. So 3 goes into 6 2 times. There's 2 x's in the denominator, 4 in the numerator, so we'd just be left with x squared. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 2 x's in the denominator, 3 in the numerator, so we can cancel 2 of them out. We'd just be left with 1x plus 3 goes into 9 3 times. And of course x squared over x squared is just 1. So this is what we're left with right here after simplifying this down. Alright, let's move into what we're really after here. Okay, we're going to have 2x squared plus 9x plus 1, so that's a polynomial, of course, over x plus 5. Now we're going to use long division. I'm going to write x plus 5 right here, and we have 2x squared plus 9x plus 1. X goes into 2x squared, so remember the last problem that reduces down to 2x, right? That's what's going on here. X goes into this, so we're just left with 2x. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this 2x times the x again. Gives us 2x squared, and then 2x times 5 gives us 10x. Then we go minus, so that means we'll be changing the sign here, and so this becomes a minus now. Alright, so that's 0, and that's going to be just a negative x. Alright, and then carry this plus 1 down. X goes into negative x, and we're just left with a minus 1. Minus 1 times that is negative x. Minus 1 Then we're going to take -1 and multiply it by 5, and so that gives us a -5. Good enough. And then remember, we multiply, we take the difference of these two. So that changes the sign to a plus, and then it's going to change this to a plus also. Okay? And so that leaves us with a 6. And we're done. Now let's take a look at this. Okay. This right here is going to be, let's see, I'm going to write this out, 2x squared plus 9x plus 1. This is how to check your work. It's going to be x plus 5 times 2x minus 1 plus 6. So this is how we check our work out. If I multiply this out, add 6 to it, I should get this. And I do. So you can go ahead and try that out, multiply that out, add 6, and you will get the left hand side over here. So this is how you check your work. Alright. Yeah, so there's some words I haven't been using, like the dividend, the quotient, the divisor, the remainder, and I'll let you figure out what those are. Alright, let's see here. We got just about forgot again. We got 5x squared. I'll give you a hint on what the remainder is. How's that? In the last problem, the remainder was 6. All right. And it's all over x minus 3. So we're going to rewrite this as x minus 4. And we got 5x squared minus 11x minus 14. So x goes into 5x squared. You're going to be left with a 5x. Then you take that and go back and multiply. 5x times x, and then 5x times the minus 4 here, which gives us minus 20, or alright, minus 20x. Okay. Draw the line, minus, so that's going to make that a minus, then that a plus. We distribute this negative across. Okay. And so now we're going to end up with, that of course is 0, and that difference is going to be 9x minus 14. Alright. X goes into 9x. And that's going to be a plus 9. Alright, then we multiply back across, so this is 9x. 9 times 4 is 36. And of course we go minus, that becomes a plus. And so that becomes 22. So remember how to check it. It's 5x squared minus 11x minus 14 is going to be equal to x minus 4 times 5x plus 9 and plus 22. So that's 5x times x is 5x squared plus 9x minus 20x minus 36 plus 22, and I sure hope that's equal to that. And it looks like it is equal to the left-hand side. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, so anyway, this is equal to the left-hand side. Alright, let's move on to a new problem. Moving right along. Alright, so we have, let's see here, 40x cubed plus 31x squared plus 16x plus 8. And it's all over 5x plus 2. So we set this up as 5x plus 2. I think I'm getting better at doing straight lines. 4x cubed plus 31x squared plus 16x plus 8. Man, that thing just went on forever, it seemed like. So 5x goes into 40x cubed. So 5 goes into 40 8 times. X goes into x cubed, and we'll be left over with x squared. And then we multiply back through again. So 40x cubed, and then 8x squared times 2 is going to be 16x squared. And of course we take their difference, so then that becomes minus, so that's 0. And then this is a minus here. And so we end up with 31 minus 16, which is 15, x squared. And I'm going to bring down this 16x here. Alright, so now we start over again. So 5x goes into 15x squared. And that's going to be 3x. So then we take 3x times 5x, and so we get 15x squared, and 3x times 2, which is 6x. And of course we do the minus, so that makes that now a negative. And so that's going to become a 10x, right, 0, and then that's a 10x. I'm going to bring down this plus 8 here. Alright, so we're done with that. Then we do it again. 5x goes into 10x, and 5 goes into 10 2 times, and the x's will cancel out. So then we have 10x, and 2 times 2 is 4. Minus, so it makes that a minus. And so now we're left with 8 minus 4 is just 4. Alright, so let's rewrite this all out again so we can see what we got, which is going to be the 5x, let's see, 5x plus 2. And then we have 8x squared plus 3x plus 2, and then plus 4. Now if you multiply all this out, okay, you should get what you should get this 40x cubed plus 31x squared plus 16x plus 8. Alright, if you didn't do that, if you did this on your own, then you didn't do it correctly. So that's a way to check. Right? So this is your remainder. There's a name for this guy, a name for this one, and of course a name for this, which was your 40x cubed. That's something you should figure out. I'll just tell you, there's the quotient, the dividend, and the divisor. Okay, so we're going to move on to something a little different. Not really, but another possibility that you could see. Alright, so we have 5x squared minus 13, and that's over x minus 2. So we're going to set this up, x minus 2, 5x squared. Now, we must put in a place, kind of something to hold this place, and that's 0 times x. Okay, minus 13. There's not an x in here, but we're going to put one here, but just put 0 here. Alright. Woo, you hear that? We're having a storm today. Alright. As long as we don't have any tornadoes, everything's good. X goes into 5x squared, that's 5x. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but that was a nasty lightning strike. Where are we at? 5, okay, yeah. So 5x times x is 5x squared. And 5x times the minus 2 is going to be negative 10x. Then we take their difference, so that makes that minus a plus. We now add 10x. I'm going to go ahead and bring down this 13. And then we start over again. So x goes into 10x, and that's going to be a plus 10. And then we go back through. 10 times x is 10x, and then 10 times negative 2. Right, it's going to be the minus 20 there. Okay, then we take their difference. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this stuff. Yeah, and so that's going to make that a plus right there. Okay, it's minus, distributing it across. And so now we have 0, so 20 minus 13 is going to be 7. Alright, well, I asked you a question earlier. Each one of these has a name. I think I gave it away that this is the remainder. Okay. This is the quotient up here. This is the divisor. And the dividend right here. Alright. Okay. It's always nice to know words for certain things when you're trying to explain something. And of course, remember how you can check this. Okay, it's x minus 2. What do we call this? The divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. I'll write it out. The divisor times the quotient plus the remainder is equal to the dividend. I'll just put dividend as right. Okay, so you check that out, and it should check out. I've already worked it out, so I know it works. So, all right, moving along to. Ooh, I got a nasty one coming up. Nasty. All right, and of course I've got to at least forget that one time. We have 2x to the 4th plus x cubed minus 3x squared plus 9x minus 13, and that's all over x squared plus x minus 3. Alright, this will be fun. Alright, so let's get started here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead. Now what did we call this? We gave this a name, and we gave that a name up there. I'll let you try to remember that. we're going to have x squared. I guess I better get busy if I want to get this problem done in 5 minutes. Surely we can do this in 5 minutes. Plus x cubed minus 3x squared plus 9x minus 13. Alright. X squared goes into 2x to the fourth. You're going to be left over with 2x squared. Okay. And then of course, remember, we multiply. So 2x to the fourth. And then 2x times 2x squared times x is going to be 2x cubed. And then 2x squared times negative 3 is going to be negative 6x squared. And we take the difference. That means that's going to be a minus, and that's going to make that a plus. So we got x cubed minus 2x cubed. So that's going to give us a, what is that going to give us? Negative x cubed, and that's going to be a plus 3x squared, and we'll go ahead and bring down this 9x here. Okay, so then we start over again. X squared goes into negative x cubed. That's going to be a minus x, and then we go through the same process again. X times x squared is negative x cubed. X times x is, minus x squared, and then that's going to be a plus 3x. Alright, and then we go minus, distribute across, so that's a plus, and that becomes a minus now. And so we end up with 0. 3x squared plus x squared is 4x squared. And 9x minus 3x is going to be plus 6x. And then bringing down 13. So then we go x squared into 4x squared, so that's just going to be a plus 4. And then of course we multiply across 4x and negative 12. And minus. Okay, so that's going to make that a minus, and that's a plus. So that becomes a 2x, and that becomes a minus 1. Okay, so this is now our remainder here, and so we're going to have this times, what is this? This is the divisor times the quotient. Alright, divisor times the quotient. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave it like that. Let you write that out, right? Divisor times quotient plus the remainder, and when you multiply all that stuff out, you should get the dividend here. So I'm going to let you work that one out. And I believe that's going to be the last problem of division of polynomials. So good luck.